everyone. Welcome back to Grandpa Mark Hobbies and a finale of Revell's 1985 Pontiac Fiero GT kit. I love this kit. I'm almost sad that I'm done with it. I'm not quite done with it. I haven't come up with a good plate for it yet. But everybody's been busting their tail just to get this thing up and out of the garage. So let's get them out of the way and we'll talk about it. Love how the hood stays open too. Cool for display. Oh boy. This kit gave me zero problems. Zero. In the last update, I talked about the suspension work underneath. We can talk about it again real quick, but it wasn't any big deal, and it was just, it'd be easier to change around the instructions just a smidge, just to make it easier. But let's start with this body. My gosh, it looks so cool. I didn't put the snorkel on the back. Didn't like it, didn't want it. I like the looks of this much better without it. You can see now that that smoked glass looks awesome on here. Let me do a little tilt. How cool is that? Brush painted Tamiya Smoke. The car itself, the body. First thing I did is I put a layer of the Kaleidos gloss black primer down. I let that dry overnight. I wet sanded that and went through a bunch just so I could see where I was. That, like Jason says, the primer shows you your mistakes. So I wet sanded that all down, put another coat of primer over top of that, checked everything out. It looked really good. So I went ahead and I used Kaleidos red, just the red from their base color on this. 2 coats of that. Let that dry for a long time, and then I masked everything off and I painted the silver around the bottom. And when I did the masking for that, I have my finger, I masked all the silver, and when I did, I also masked this black, and I cut everything out so that when the silver was done, I could let it dry for a little bit, peel the tape off of the black, do a hangover tape of the silver so I wasn't messing the silver up, and then paint the black. So I did all the black after the silver within like 15-20 minutes, and it worked out really well. I love that silver. That's their metallic color silver. Went right over top of the red. I didn't do any other primer or anything, just shot it right over the red, and it took 2 coats to cover the red. The black, 1 coat. Pow, it was done. And then on the black, I hit it with Tamiya silver over where the lights are. I brush painted that, and then I brush painted on the clear orange and the clear red over that, I didn't want to use the decals. The decals were actually, if you look, these are different sizes, and the decals were kind of off fit. So I left them out, and it took me an extra 3 seconds. I probably was able to paint it all in the time it would have taken me to cut the decals out for it. But I'm really happy with that. The sunroof, that smoke was perfect for that, and that's 2 coats brush painted on there. I was able to do that just by flipping the glass upside down. I put a clothespin underneath the front here so that it wouldn't tilt this way, and then just pretty much globbed the paint on, let it dry, came back the next day, globbed another set of it on, let it dry, and it's the perfect color. Nice and dark, but still see-through. Barely, but that's what I wanted. I just wanted a barely see-through on that. Everything else went together perfectly. I'm trying not to touch those mirrors because I just used my Fusion Firm on them, and I've been asked a few times, what is Fusion Firm? This is Fusion Firm. It is chrome in a bottle, and I get it on Amazon. Don't even remember the price. I've used maybe a 1/16 of an inch out of this bottle, and I've chromed a lot of stuff. So it goes a long way. I just put it on my paint shaker, which I got off of Amazon. It is, I'll pull it over. It's a battery powered or a plug-in nail polish paint shaker. That's all it is. It was, I don't know, $20. And I'm telling you, it was the best $20 I've spent because it does a great job, especially on stuff like this. So, you know what? Let's see if I can get this. I don't know if the cord's long enough to get it over here to where you can see it. But, yeah, I can get it. You see how that's pretty well separated in there. Watch this. I'm going to tilt it. I don't know if it'll work tilted, but we'll tilt it and get it in. So you can see it does a heck of a job. And it was worth every penny of it. But back to the car. I didn't cut the lights out. If I ever get this car again, I don't know if I'll light it, but I will cut these lenses open. And I probably will light it. There's ways to get light or battery in there. If I'm going to open that, all I have to do is come down and cut this whole hood open. And there's a ton of room in there to put the LEDs. Then I could run LEDs to the back and light the taillights instead of painting them. And I think it'd just really look cool. And I will do this again because I want to do one in white, and I think I want one in black too. So I have the whole set. But I love the car. I've loved this car ever since it first came out. The interior, I got some good pictures. I'll put in the music montage at the end. But it went together great. I changed halfway through the color I wanted to paint it because I just wanted that darker and lighter, the gray and the black with this red. I'll probably do the tan with the black car or the white car, but I really wanted that in here. I think it sets it out a little bit better. It looks great through that front window too. I didn't open up the front, and I didn't flat black it after I clear coated this. So I probably will come back sometime and hit that with flat black just to darken it up. But honestly, when you're looking at it, you can't tell. You really can't. I opted for the black, my finger, I opted for the black decals to go around here just for the divider. They came with a kit. They went on great. They come in black, red, and white. Looked at the white. No, the white will look good with the white car probably. The black car I'll probably use red. I'll still use a silver bottom. I love this two-tone color with the silver underneath it, especially the way this car is built. It just screams for it. The engine went together good. Like I said, the hood for it went together good. It is held into place by the two vents over here. And what's cool is if you tilt it up, you can feel it drop under the window and it stays open. So you can display it with the hood open without sticking a toothpick or a piece of wire or something like that. Or you can open it all the way up and it'll actually stay that way. Fairly nice. If you bump it, it's going to drop. But for showing it off, you can open it up and look at that engine. It came out so good. I made the alternator bracket and the air compressor bracket, and you can hardly even tell they're in there. I did make the dog bone bracket right here for the engine to the body, and that's just two pieces of round cut and a piece of flat put in there. And now I got a story for that too. I had it all cut out. I was going to glue the round part to the flat part, and I just reached over and grabbed my old set of tweezers, brought it up. I had the round part sitting on the desk, and I was just going to take and dip the end of the flat piece in my super glue and just touch it on there and let it sit. Drop it down, let it sit and glue. Oh, that's great. No problem. Except for I had the round piece, I had the flat piece and the tweezers. I went over, I had my super glue set up in my little cup. I dipped it in the super glue. I brought it over here and it went and it disappeared. And I'm like, where the heck did it go? And I started looking around and I moved the car and it wasn't there. And as I tilted a little bit, that dang thing super glued itself to my frickin' body right there. So, out of all builds, you always have something, right? Well, that's my something is I got a little bit of a mark on my paint. It happened after the clear coat was on and everything. I did polish it. I didn't go crazy with the wet sanding and anything. Took most of it off. It looked way worse than that. But I was getting close to where I knew I was going to come through the clear coat. So I just stopped there, and by the time that happened, the glass was in and everything, and it was just too late to re-clear coat it. But what are you going to do? It just makes me laugh. The mirrors, I thought were going to kind of be a pain in the behind to put on, and they weren't. They went on real nice. It's a two-piece mirror. The glass in the back, what I did is I super glued it on and then fusion firmed the mirror itself. And it looks good. It does. It's very good reflection. The mirror inside is black, but it has good chrome on it. You can see it right there. The real good shine on that. And again, when I put it in, I tilted it just a smidge because the driver's sitting here looking and the reflection is going to go back that way. Mirrors are never in a car this way unless it's brand new and just came out of the factory or something. Again, the decals went on nice. The GT decal, the Pontiac decal. There was a little bump for the Pontiac decal, so it made it 3D. The Fiero in the front came out really good. Everything came out nice. I'm really super happy with this kit. I love this color. The over black looked great. I was super happy with it because I could see through the panel liner or through the panel lines. And then I hit it with the black panel liner and it was like, that's a win. And I did use my Tamiya's panel liner on this. The underside, again, everything went on. This back skirt, there's no real positive gluing for it, but it wasn't hard to glue in place. I dropped super glue in 4 or 5 places all the way around it, tucked it underneath the exhaust tips, brought it in, set it down, and it just sat there and glued perfectly into place for me. So I couldn't be any more happy with that. The underside looks great. Remember, I told you to flip-flop. I think it was 12 and 13 or 13 and 14. So you're putting the sway bar in first and then the steering arm. Other than that, I wouldn't change anything. I really wouldn't. I did the front spoiler in the black. That looks good on there. Again, I can't be any more happy with how this kit came out. It's really sharp. Oh man. Again, I'm gonna probably display it with the hood open or the trunk open like that. The boot open like that. I just like that look. So you can see everything. I just painted under the boot flat black. I painted inside here where the mini trunk is with flat black, and then hit it when I clear coated everything. I clear coated that too. It was over there and just real quick and went to town. I did use the Advantis on this all the way through. My new airbrush. Let me grab this and show you my Grandpa Mark's airbrush. This works really good with their acrylics. It sure does. Right now it has the 0.4 millimeter tip in it, and that was perfect for clear coat. I had no spatters, no overspray, no nothing. I was able to pull away a little bit, up the pressure just a smidge, and I put a couple drops of the retarder thinner in here and just went to town with it all over the place, quick, fast, and in a hurry. And it laid down real nice. I did use Tamiya's polish, not to bring up the shine, but to cut it down a little bit because it was crazy wet look. And this car was plastic. The panels were plastic on it, and I didn't want it to be that super crazy wet look. I wanted reflections in there, but I didn't want that crazy wet look. So that's why I took my, as a matter of fact, I used a coarse polish on it to drop that gloss down a little bit. And you can see it's still got very good gloss to it. One other thing, I used to use Bondo's Spot Putty as my body filler. And a while back, I switched over to Tamiya's Putty. And I hope you can see this. There it is right there. See the crack in that? Right here? I filled this in. There's not supposed to be a vent in here. And I filled it in. And then after I had everything done, it showed up. It wasn't there when I polished it, or wet sanded it. It wasn't there when I wet sanded before I clear coated. It wasn't there when I clear coated it and polished everything. It wasn't there. And then, I don't know, it was probably 2 days ago. I came down and I'm like, oh, what the heck? I actually came down because I was trying to come up with an idea for the license plate. That's why there's none on there. I just haven't come up with a good plate. Leave a comment in the video for an idea for a plate for the Fiero. And I'm seeing right now across the back here, it's got a weird shine to it. That's not in person. In person, that's just smoke. You can see I painted the white here and the reds here, and the rest of it is silver. So I don't know what that's all about. It's just the way the light's hitting it. But yeah, leave me a comment in the back or about what would be a good plate for this. But I think after maybe 2 weeks or so that cracked. And it was after it was already on the body that it showed up. So I'm wondering if maybe when I flexed it, but I hardly had to flex this at all to put it over the chassis, but maybe that's when it cracked open. I'm not sure, but I know I've never had that happen before with the Bondo Spot Putty. So the Tamiya is going to get put away, and I'm going to order a tube of the Bondo Spot Putty. And I had a tube for 20 years before it finally went to where nothing would come out anymore. You can see I'm touching this like crazy. I did at the end give this a coat of wax. I used the turtle wax ice on it. Put it on with the towel or just an old t-shirt. Put it on, let it sit for a minute, and then wiped it all off. And it just smoothed everything out. You can sure tell it's there. But with that, how about if we jump into the music, and I'll be right back. All right. With that, I had a blast with it. How about if we thank Gallery for everything they've done for me and our group? If you decide to get their paints or any of their airbrushes or supplies, make sure you use Grandpa Mark in the coupon code to get yourself 10% off. Let's thank our veterans, our active duty members, and our first responders for putting it on the line every single day. My hat's off, and I salute each and every one of you. And with that, I will let you go. You all have a great day, a better tomorrow, and thank you very much for watching.